tape. And this story, I think it was probably one of the worst war crimes during World War II that was committed by a small group of Americans. And we turned the tape over and the information to the state. It was turned over to the Judge Advocate General's Office of the New York State Division of Military and Naval Affairs for further investigation. And to the best of my knowledge, I believe the story was kind of swept under the rug. Why? I've got my own suspicions, but I think it was probably because well, I was told that so much time had passed since then, and the ones involved were very old, and a lot of them were probably had probably been deceased at that point. And I remember saying to the director, I don't understand it. We're still pursuing Germans for war crimes during World War II. And I was told, well, that's because the Germans didn't win the war. But anyway, this is called the Lieutenant's Confession. It had only been a week or so since that banzai charge. There were some of us 27 boys still left, though the group was none too large. With mopping up still going on, we cleared out spider holes in caves. It was our job to rout the Japs with rifles and grenades. We heard some noise down by a creek where we observed a group of men, but mostly women. With rocks they washed and pounded clothes. A few of them were swimming. My men captured them without a fight, for they had been surrounded. With rifles cocked, we marched them back. Headquarters was astounded. In single file, they were paraded in with a proud cadence we did tramp. The prisoner count was 60 plus. I figured we'd be the envy of the camp. A major yelled, "Hey, hold up there. No prisoner compound here." The prisoners stood and huddled close, now petrified with fear. The major stared in disbelief and then said, "Kill them all." I was really in a perplexing spot, as there was no higher rank to call. I asked him to repeat his bizarre retort as I stood shocked in the late day sun. He yelled, "Take them over to the cliffs and shoot every goddamn one." I chose not to disobey his order, though I knew this wasn't right. I asked my sergeant to do it. Dear Lord, how he took such delight. He took some boys from Tennessee. With Japs, they all held a grudge. I stayed behind back at the camp. My feet just wouldn't budge. The prisoners were lined up along the cliff as participants in this strange and terrible cotillion. Then with machine gun fire, they were all cut down, be they soldier or civilian. We all returned to where our tents were pitched. Not another thing was said. As I look back now at that awful deed, I still think about the dead. The bodies and bones have disappeared from sight, now swallowed by the jungle. Families still mourn their loved ones' fates in the daily prayers they mumble. Sometimes I wake in the middle of the night to the sounds of war and that machine gun buzz. On Saipan in July of '44, that's the way it was. Thank you very much.